Good morning, everyone. For those who are first-time visitors or we haven't had a chance to meet before, my name is Greg Fenich, and I'm the treasurer for Salthouse and a member of the Church Council. Thank you for allowing me the time to share our most recent quarter-end financial results. In the following slides, I will walk you through our year-to-date performance, covering income, followed by expenses, and then an overall summary of our net operating loss, and finally, a view of our assets and liabilities as of March 31st. Before I do, let me remind you that the budget numbers reflected in our financials represent those approved by all of us in June 2019. Then, beginning in October 2019, we also voted as a community to commit to 9 months of an expanded staff. Jason's hours increased to full-time, Pastor Sarah going to 3/4 time, and Pastor Ryan contracted for 9 months at half-time. This was all done with the intention of overspending our budget and in order to grow and deepen our community in participation and generosity. So keep in mind that the budget numbers listed on the slides are from June 2019 fiscal year budget, as we did not restate our budgets for the approved overspending. For the year-to-date income, I have provided a view of our quarterly journey. Moving from left to right on the table, I have included details for Q1, Q2, Q3, and then our year-to-date total so that you can see the past 2 quarters of total income exceeding the budget. Our primary source of income is general giving from all of you, with additional income from others using the church building, as well as rental income from the parsonage next door. You will see our total income at the far right number 1 is exceeding budget by almost $9,000. This reflects all your generosity because, as we shared last October with our decision to invest in our staffing, we needed to increase our income for the Salthouse community to continue to grow in the longer term. So, on behalf of the Church Council and our staff, I want to express our sincerest appreciation. I also noted in the current quarter, due to the financial impact from COVID-19, we do have risk. We will continue to monitor monthly income as we prepare our next fiscal budget, but I am optimistic that God will be generous with us as we continue to respond by intentionally living generous lives. Turning to our expenses, you see a similar quarterly breakdown across the major expense groups. Referring to the far right column and number 1, we are over the original budget as expected in the staff row. Again, this was our investment in staffing to support our community participation and growth. Benevolence represents our tithing to the synod and is directly tied to our general giving being over budget. We did not send out the Easter holiday mailings, so that saved $1,600 in Q3 and brings our year-to-date office expense below original budget. Finally, in Q3, we received higher utility reimbursement from the day center, which is reflected in our building and grounds line. Given the current social distancing measures, I have noted that we may have additional non-staff savings in this current quarter. Next, viewing the total income and expense together, you can see at the right-hand corner of the table in the number 1, we are currently at a net loss of $8,927 in our year-to-date results and below our net income budget. Moving across the bottom of the table, or the net operating loss line, you can see we finished Q1 with a larger net loss of almost $13,000, with general improvement in Q2 and Q3 due to stronger general giving income from all of your generosity. For our remaining quarter, we are not without risk given the uncertainty of COVID-19 impact on our income. Thus, your continued generosity is deeply appreciated and even much more important. Our last financials represent our assets, or what we own, and our liabilities, or what we owe to other people. We are fortunate to have savings to help support our operating costs, and you will see from December of last year to March of this year, we transferred $20,000 from savings to checking to pay our expenses. Our current assets and future general giving income are what help us support the investment we made in staffing, as well as to support the new Bethlehem Day Center. As Pastor Ryan recently shared, the Council approved a one-time gift of $5,000 from our Restricted Community Initiatives Fund to help offset the Day Center's increased costs for expanded hours during COVID-19. We are so grateful to be in a position to help support the more vulnerable during the pandemic. In closing, I want to share our current giving options. The Joy Jar is temporarily out of service, but you have some other options. You can give online at salthousechurch.org/WAC-giving, or you can text any dollar amount to 84321. Finally, this is a perfect time when ordering online to leverage Amazon Smile and select Salt House Church as your charity while you shop and continue your generosity to Salt House. For Microsoft employees, if your giving is earmarked for the Community Initiatives Fund, Salt House will receive a matching gift through Microsoft's Give tool for employees. I've reached the end of my slides and wanted to thank you all for intentionally living generous lives and your support and contributions to Salt House.